Well, many of you saw our coverage at stopclassroomgrooming.com about the nationwide protest, the 1 Million March for Children, which was protesting against the sexualization of children in schools. And if you saw our coverage, you also know that woke unions came together to counter-protest that peaceful protest. This story today is connected to that, another woke union member. It's about a man named Robert Aegis. And I got to tell you, it's a very weird story. We're going to give you that information as well as an update on the next march scheduled for October 21st.
This is not about love. This is not about inclusion. This is a high-level political strategy to indoctrinate, recruit, infiltrate the thinking and minds of the next generation.
Drea Humphrey here with Rebel News, and standing beside me is Carrie Simpson, the president of Culture Guard, a child protection nonprofit that actually leaked the infamous union video that came out ahead of the march, where it showed union representatives from Ontario organizing to intimidate parents when they came out to peacefully protest. Watch a little bit of this.
This is absolutely crucial that we oppose this in the streets. And this is just signs that I've seen that we're rising, that this is far more than just like a far-right transphobic protest. They are fundamentally racist. They're fundamentally anti-union. They are fundamentally queer and transphobic. And it's just a matter of time before they come to us.
Now being under the guise of being led by parents, it's being led by the guise of being led by religious faith and some sort of ethnic communities. And we need to be supported, and we're all getting together and being disrupting and causing some good trouble.
We are wanting to show a very strong response, countering these protests, to show that, they even think that there's a possibility of bringing what's happening other places here.
Thanks for being on Rebel News again, Carrie. Why was it important for you to let the public know about what was said during that meeting?
Leading up to the September 20th march, the Million March for Children, it became very clear to me in being engaged in the high-level strategy meetings and the safety meetings that most of the people, including seasoned law enforcement veterans, had no idea what was going to happen at this march. Now, you and I have been in the middle of this insanity before, when we've tried to advance parental rights and inform people about what was happening with the SOGI agenda. I recall one safety strategy meeting with national leadership and two high-level consultants talking about how to, keep people safe. You be calm, they'll be calm. And I just stopped the meeting. I said, you have no idea what you are about to encounter. So I think releasing the video when we obtained it was really important to show how political this whole movement is. And I think that brings a level of understanding to people that this is not about love. This is not about inclusion. This is a high-level political strategy to indoctrinate, recruit, infiltrate the thinking and minds of the next generation, pour billions of dollars into nonprofit organizations that are advancing an agenda that is not about freedom. It is not about democracy. It is not about the state being limited in our lives. And the way to do that is to have created this political movement that's untouchable. You're not allowed to question what's going on. If you are, you get what we call, bulking, right? You get thrown in with the bad crowd.
It really did wake up a lot of people to call these parents fascists, to imply that they were harmful, and then to pre-plan to take up their spaces. But we promised something very weird in this report. We're meeting in front of Ricky's restaurant at Walnut Grove location in Langley because, Carrie, you came here for a private meeting with parents who share these concerns, a diverse group of parents, and you allege that you caught a union representative spying on you guys. What happened there?
Right. So this was a very high-level provincial meeting. We're holding these across the country, and inviting and engaging all the various ethnic communities, the religious communities. So this was truly diverse, not like what you see with the union groups, right? So this was a private invite-only meeting. And we secured a private room, and it's illegal in Canada unless you're part of a meeting to intercept or record what's going on. So this is the room that we had yesterday, the private room we booked and paid for. This individual took the table right there. These doors were closed for the whole meeting, so when he couldn't hear what was going on, he walked around from his table. So he's sitting right here around the back of our room. And according to the staff here, stood here with his phone trying to record our meeting. Okay, so I'll show you here. So he was standing right here with his phone into our room. After he was caught, because he's pretending to go to the washroom, after he was caught, he then tried to put his phone under this carpet. And that's when one of our attendees caught him doing this. I later found out that the staff had previously confronted him, so he's been confronted several times now, standing in this back hallway with his arm outstretched, trying to get a recording in our room. So this gentleman, we got his name. He is known as a union thug, for lack of better descripts. Still is advertised, on the internet as being a researcher for the unions. And his name is Robert Aegis, and we're now having him investigated to see if he can be charged criminally.
Now, the name Rob Aegis is not just connected to the BC government union. There's also other allegations about this individual, coming to an allegation that he assaulted Billboard Chris, which is Chris Elston, who is well known for advocating against child mutilation and sterilization of children who are being affirmed in their gender dysphoria. Let's take a look.
Hey, what did I do? What did I do?
Now, I did reach out to the RCMP to see, are they taking this seriously? I have not heard back at this very moment. If I do, I will update you in the written article for this report in the description box below. But these allegations are quite serious. We saw union members across the country mobilize against this peaceful parental rights protest. And now we're seeing them maybe that they're going as far as spying. What do you make of that?
Well, I think what's coming is the realization of, again, going back to how political this is. Not only has the Pride political movement, and I call it the prideification of our nation, has it not only infused into the schools and the political ideology of these children, which schools are supposed to be non-political, non-partisan, right? Learn how to read and write. But now we see it, infused in our libraries. We have drag queens. We see it on our streets with the increasing aspect of pride parades being in every community, because Trudeau has just given funding to an organization to make sure every small community now gets a micro grant to make sure that they can have a pride event. We see it in our public service. Hey guys, just go Google public service pride and look what's happening within our public service, which is completely, I believe, illegal, because there isn't supposed to be, a special agency, a Gestapo-like secret police force within the public service. Yet they boast now to overseeing 80 departments with 10,000 of our public servants employees now advancing this political agenda within the public service. So at some point, and hopefully it'll be soon, I think Canadians waking up to this fact of what's not only going on in our schools, but the broader picture will say enough is enough. And, that enough will be resonating loud and clear at the next election.
As promised, we have an update for you about the next 1 million March for Children, which is scheduled for October 21st. You're in the know on that. Tell us what you know.
So the next march, of course, is going to be one that's very, again, well planned. This one will focus on advancing parental rights within every province. I think what you're going to see is a movement towards establishing within every province a Parental Rights Protection Act. So that act is being drafted as we speak. It will be open for consultation with all the parent groups and religious groups across the country. But certainly the draft will be made available, and we will be kicking off that campaign on October 21st.
Well, there you have it. Carrie Simpson with Culture Guard, Drea Humphrey with Rebel News. Now, I reached out to Rob Aegis to get his side of this oh-so-wacky story, and surprise, I haven't heard back yet. But if I do, just like I said about the RCMP update, you can find it in the written article for this report, which is linked in the description box below. And just like the last 1 million March for Children, Rebel News will be deploying journalists across the country to bring you reports you can trust on that. And in order to do that for you, we're going to have to hire security to make sure we are safe, and there are other costs involved like modest travel costs. So if you'd like to support this important journalism that we do to bring you the other side of the story on this issue, please go to stopclassroomgrooming.com and chip in a few bucks to cover those expenses. We appreciate your support.